Hi, David. Thanks for joining us on City Hall Update. And you're here to tell us about something that's going to be very important to the drivers of Lufkin, and that would be our new red light cameras.
The red light cameras are coming. You should see some of those up now, and some of those will be online by the end of August.
Okay. So how many red light cameras do we have, or will have?
There will be 11 total.
11 total, and you have a list as to where these cameras are located.
I have a list, and not every intersection has every approach covered. Most of the intersections only have one approach covered. Our lights will be at Loop at Pershing, and that will be covered both ways on the loop.
Okay, and that's over there by the post office.
By the new post office. Loop at Copeland will also be covered both directions on the loop. Loop at 59 South will have one camera. Denman at Loop 287 will have one camera inbound. Timberland at Kurth will have one camera inbound. Denman at Timberland will have one camera. Chestnut at Timberland will have a camera. Timberland at Paul and South First at Farm Road 819 or College Drive will also have a camera.
So you don't want to be driving around, though, and going through the intersection and looking up. So I wonder if there's a camera here.
Well, you have to be careful what camera you look for, because the
just watch the road. Right?
TxDOT has their own cameras, and those are mounted on the red lights. Those aren't the same.
Okay, and what are those cameras?
Those cameras actually help determine when traffic is at the light and make the light cycle.
Okay, but more importantly, don't worry about where the red light cameras are or if it's a TxDOT camera. Abide by the law and don't run a red light.
You never get a ticket for stopping at a red light.
So tell me how it works.
The cameras are set up that they use lasers and radar to show speed in the approaching vehicles, and it's much like an officer there. When it senses that a vehicle is approaching the intersection too fast to stop, it triggers what is called an event, and it starts taking pictures. Takes a picture of the vehicle before it crosses the line and enters the intersection, takes a second picture of the vehicle while it's in the intersection, and it also shows the speed of that vehicle, so you can't say, well, I was stopped in that second picture, because it will show the speed of that.
And of course, we're doing this to help alleviate accidents in these intersections. Is that a problem here in Lufkin? Do we see a lot of accidents in intersections?
Yes, we do, and that is the most common place to have one, obviously. And these intersections were specifically picked because of the high number of collisions involving someone running a red light.
A lot of T-bone accidents.
Right. Side impact accidents tend to be the very worst, besides head-on, and those are pretty rare. So we wanted to take some action, and this is just using technology to help us do what we do already. It's just a part of our traffic enforcement plan.
And other cities across Texas are using this technology as well.
Yes, they do.
So,
several.
Okay, so it takes a picture. Someone runs a red light, and it takes a picture. Then what happens?
After the picture is taken, it's downloaded to a site in Maryland, and all in Maryland.
Okay.
And they take all of those and they send them in bundles of violations to our traffic department. And a Lufkin Police Department traffic officer will review each and every one of them to see if it does indeed meet the criteria for running a red light. If it does, those will be sent back to Maryland, and the summons will be sent out from there.
From Maryland. Okay, so if I get a ticket and suppose I let someone borrow my car, how do I fight that, or can I?
You can fight that by getting an affidavit and swearing that you had loaned the car to someone else, and you will have to name the person and give an address of the person that borrowed that car, and then they will be sent a summons.
Okay. And so how much revenue do you think this will produce? Have you any idea?
I have no idea what to expect on this, and our traffic division doesn't really know what to expect on this.
But again, the bottom line is to save lives and decrease the amount of accidents. So it's not about the money as far as
this is just using advances in technology to help us do our job better as part of our traffic safety program. Cut down on these accidents. That's
so
what
has it been a process to get the traffic cameras here to Lufkin? Has it been a lengthy process?
It took a little longer than anyone thought, because there were some permitting issues that we ran into with TxDOT. Traffic Packs has been in business for years, but they've never worked in Texas, and evidently we have a pretty tough permitting process. So we had some delays. We were expected to be online in June, and now the first of them will be coming on here in late August.
Do you see this as being like a full-time job for an officer, or hopefully not?
Well, we hope it's not, because there's nothing that will beat a traffic officer out there in that patrol car to prevent accidents. But at this point, we're just kind of having to wait and see how many hours a day they'll have to do this.
So are officers sharing this duty, or did you have to bring somebody on to actually do it?
We have 3 officers who will be sharing this
Okay.
duty. Primarily will be Sergeant David Walker with our traffic division.
Okay. Well, it sounds like a great program.
Yeah, you didn't ask who our hearing officer is.
Well, who is it?
Our hearing officer is going to be someone familiar to our City Hall Update viewers. It's former Lieutenant Greg Denman.
Welcome back, Mr. Denman.
So, Greg will be the hearing officer. If someone contests one of these, they will go before him and present their case. He will look at the photographs and the evidence submitted from traffic packs, listen to the person's side of the story, and make a determination.
And what is the fine? How much is the fine?
$75.
$75.
And that is capped by state law at $75.
What about, okay, if I do get a ticket for running a red light, does that go on my driving record?
These do not. These are civil violations. Now, a ticket written by a police officer will go on your record, but these don't.
Well, the message here is the cameras are out.
The cameras are out. You should not miss them. We're going to put signs at every major entrance in the Lufkin, and we're going to put signs before every red light camera.
Oh, okay.
So there's really no reason not to know where they are. We're not hiding that fact.
Yeah, so some people think, oh, it's going to be a hidden camera someplace, but no, that's not the fact.
That's not the fact. And we're not going to be moving them very much because they do require permits and drilling and boring and electric work. And so they're going to be there to stay, and everybody's going to know where they are. We just want the accidents to stop.
Right. Well, thanks a lot, David, for joining us on City Hall Update. I know you have your work cut out for you, and it should be a successful project, and look forward to having you back later on in City Hall Update to see how it's going.
Thank you.